Hey everyone! Welcome back to English Audio Labs, where we help you improve your English through real life conversations. I'm Amelia.
And I'm James. Whether you're just starting to learn English or you want to improve your skills, you're in the right place. Before we dive in today, if you missed our last episode on daily routines, be sure to give it a listen.
Absolutely. Daily routines are an essential part of every language learner's journey. And if you haven't heard it yet, be sure to check it out. But today, we have something equally exciting for you. We're talking about ordering food at a restaurant, one of the most common situations where you need to use English.
That's right. Knowing how to order food confidently can make dining out much easier and more enjoyable. Whether you're at a fancy restaurant or a casual cafe, the ability to order food, ask for special requests, and communicate with the server is key. Today, we'll go over common phrases, questions, and polite expressions that will help you sound natural when ordering food. Let's set the scene, Amelia. Imagine we're at a restaurant. What's the first thing we do when we walk in?
Great question, James. When you first walk into a restaurant, you'll usually be greeted by a host or hostess. They'll typically say something like, "Hi, welcome. How many people in your party?" This is a formal way of asking how many people are in your group. A simple response could be, "Two, please." Or if you're with a larger group, "Four, please."
Exactly. And after that, the host or hostess will say something like, right this way, and lead you to your table. Once you're seated, they'll usually hand you the menu and say something like, your server will be with you shortly. Now you're ready to start browsing the menu, but sometimes it can be tricky if you're not familiar with the dishes. What do you do, Amelia?
Well, if you need a bit more time to look over the menu, don't worry. You can politely say, "Can we have a few more minutes, please?" This lets the server know you're still deciding. It's always good to ask for a little time if you're not sure about what to order.
Absolutely. And if you're having trouble deciding, you can ask the server for suggestions. A useful question here is, what do you recommend? Or what's the special today? These questions help the server suggest something that might be popular or unique to the restaurant.
Exactly. Once you've decided on your dish, it's time to order. You can say, "I'll have," or "Could I get?" For example, "I'll have the grilled chicken, please." Or, "Could I get the soup of the day?" Adding please makes it polite, so don't forget that.
Yes, and don't be afraid to make special requests. For example, if you don't like a certain ingredient, you can say, can I get that without onions? Or can I have the dressing on the side? These little adjustments help you get exactly what you want.
Now, let's talk about drinks. The server will probably ask, "Would you like something to drink?" You can answer with, "Just water for me, please." Or, "I'll have an iced tea." If you want a specific drink, you can be more specific, like, "I'd like a glass of white wine, please."
Good one. And don't forget about your dessert options. If the server asks, would you like to see the dessert menu? You can respond with, yes, please. Or if you're full, you can say, no, I'm full, thank you. But if you're unsure, you can always ask, what desserts do you have today?
After your food arrives, the server might check in and ask, "How is everything?" Or, "Is everything okay?" If everything is great, you can say, "Everything's perfect, thank you." Or, "It's delicious." But what if something's wrong?
If there's an issue such as your food being cold, it's important to speak politely. You can say, actually, my dish is a little cold. Could you warm it up? Being polite is key, and you should feel comfortable asking for things to be fixed if necessary.
Yes, it's always about being polite and respectful. Now, once you've finished your meal, it's time to ask for the bill. In the US, you can say, "Can I get the check, please?" In the UK, people typically say, "Can I have the bill, please?"
That's right. And when it's time to pay, the server might ask, "Will this be cash or card?" You can answer with "Card, please." Or, if you're paying with cash, "Cash, please."
And speaking of paying, if the service was good, it's nice to leave a tip. In many countries, tipping is common, usually around 15 to 20% of the total bill. Tipping is a way of showing appreciation for good service.
Yes, exactly. Now, let's talk about some other situations you might encounter when dining out at a restaurant.
Let's say the restaurant is really busy and you have to wait for a table. The host might say, "There's a 15-minute wait. Would you like to put your name on the list?" If you're okay with the wait, you can say, "Yes, that's fine." Or if you'd prefer to go somewhere else, "Actually, we'll try another place."
What if you don't understand something on the menu? A lot of restaurant menus use specific terms that might be unfamiliar. You can ask, "What's in this dish?" Or, "Does this contain nuts?" Especially if you have food allergies or dietary restrictions.
That's really useful. If the server asks, "Would you like an appetizer to start?" and you're not interested, you can say, "No thanks, just the main course for now." But if you're in the mood for something light, you can say, "Yes, I'll have the soup to start."
Exactly. And what if you want to share a dish with someone? You can ask, "Can we get one order to share?" Or, "Could we have the portion split, please?" This way, everyone can try a little bit of everything without ordering too much.
Another situation might be when you need some extra things, like napkins or more water. You can ask, "Can I get some extra napkins, please?" Or, "Could we have some more water, please?"
Yes, these are small but important requests. Now let's talk about a tricky situation. What if you're not happy with your food? For example, maybe your steak isn't cooked as you like. You can politely say, "Excuse me, I ordered my steak well done, but it seems a bit rare. Could you cook it a little more?"
That's a polite way to handle it. And what if there's a mistake on the bill? You can politely say, "Excuse me, I think there's an error on the check. Could you take a look?"
Another important thing to know is how to handle leftovers. If you want to take your food home, you can ask, "Could I get a box to take this home, please?"
Exactly. And if the restaurant is out of something you wanted to order, the server might say, "I'm sorry, we're out of the grilled salmon today." You can respond with, "Oh, that's too bad. I'll have the chicken instead."
Sometimes you might be in a rush. If that's the case, you can politely say, "Is it possible to get our order a little faster? We're in a bit of a hurry."
Yes. What if your table is too close to a loud group or a drafty door? You can say, "Excuse me, would it be possible to switch to a quieter table?"
Another situation. What if the server forgets your order? You could say, "Excuse me, I think my order might have been missed. Could you check on it, please?"
That's important. And if you drop a utensil, you can ask, "Could I get a new fork, please?"
Here's another situation. What if your food is served at the same time as your friends, but theirs is incorrect? You can say, "Oh, I think there's been a mix-up with my order. Could you check again?"
Good one, James. What if the restaurant is really noisy and you can't hear the server clearly? You can politely say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" It's a little noisy here.
Excellent. Another situation could be when you need to use the restroom. You can ask, "Excuse me, where is the restroom?"
That's an important one, too. And sometimes the restaurant might have a dress code. If you're unsure what's appropriate, you can ask, "Is there a dress code for this restaurant?"
Yes, some high-end restaurants have a dress code, so it's good to check beforehand. Lastly, what if you want to compliment the chef? You can say, "Please tell the chef the food was excellent," or "The food was amazing, thank you."
And remember to always thank the server before you leave. Thank you for the wonderful service. Have a great day. It's always nice to be polite and show appreciation.
Definitely. Now, let's review some of the key phrases we use today to help our listeners remember them.
And remember, if you haven't already, check out our last episode on daily routines for more everyday English tips.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to English Audio Labs for more tips and lessons. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.
And don't forget to revisit our episode on daily routines. It's packed with helpful tips. Until then, happy learning and bon appetit.